Illumination. What do you want me to say about them? They make money, I guess? So, good for them? And maybe the minions are cute? You didn't let me finish. You wanted me to say something about them? I'm saying something about them. When Saber Spark explained that DreamWorks is more concerned with making movies that are successful as opposed to good, I think that applies more to Illumination than it does DreamWorks. They might not have the best track record out of any animation studio in terms of critical reception, and I don't quite agree with some of their business decisions. I guess it's a caveat when the founder is an ex-president of the animation branch of 20th Century Fox, but they're nevertheless successful at what they do. Like I said in my recent countdown, if it works, and I can't and won't take that away from them. Their films are not something I will go out of my way to watch, let alone rewatch, but I can buy into that sort of stuff from time to time. Exhibit A, the Despicable Me series. Safe, family-friendly, and wholly inoffensive, the studio built itself from it, and thus they are defined by it. The wacky escapades of supervillain extraordinaire Gru and his flock of minions keep the youngins occupied, but outside of the occasional risque moment, will keep the older folk muted for most of the runtime. I hate to be that stooge who follows a trend the way a sheep follows a shepherd, but the best thing about these films is the evolution of Gru's character. Between Steve Carell's joyfully stereotypical Russian accent, his sheer badassery as a good guy or bad guy, and his compassion that innately shows in his interactions with the minions, his scientist assistant / confidant Dr. Nefario, and his adoptive daughters and eventual wife, Gru may not be the most memorable character in animation cinema, but he has a lot of entertaining traits that make him a worthy protagonist who can carry the films on his shoulders. Yeah, I said it. Gru is the protagonist of Despicable Me. It's not the minions and their initially funny though increasingly tiresome brand of comedy being used very loosely in this statement. It's not those appendaged yellow pills that Illumination administers into your system like actual drugs. It is Gru. Sorry, I went on a bit of a tangent there. Bad habit of mine that. Despicable Me's 1 and 2 were good movies. Despicable Me 3 is the unfortunate little kid in the family who will either alleviate or perpetuate the problems brought forth by the Minions movie. Because we all know what a tremendous success Minions was. Critical success, not financial success. Stop making me criticize what can't be and shouldn't be criticized, please. We already have enough of that in the animation community. We don't need more of it. I don't think expectations were too high for a third Despicable Me movie, which I wouldn't blame people for. But as important as first impressions are, they're still the final product to actually look at. What is it like? I'll tell you. Beware the spoilers. As a continuation of the second movie, Gru, voiced again by Steve Carell, is now a full-fledged member of the Anti-Villain League, the most uninspired name ever, along with his happily wed wife Lucy Wilde, voiced again by Kristen Wiig. Their careers are cut short, however, when they fail to apprehend the 80s-inspired former child star turned villain Balthazar Brad, played by Trey Parker, and the two are dismissed from the league as a result of their failure. Adding further complication, or headache, depending on how you see it, is a telegram from Gru's long-lost twin brother Drew, also voiced by Steve Carell. This leaves Gru to ponder on what path he should choose in the future. Continue the path of the straight and narrow for the sake of his adoptive daughters, or return to his villainous roots also for the sake of his adoptive daughters. And I didn't enjoy this movie as much as the previous Despicable Me's. Like I said, the series as a whole is inoffensive, family-friendly fun, which is totally whatevers to me. What did I enjoy about this movie? Well, there's the performances of the voice cast, especially Steve Carell and Trey Parker. 3 movies in and Steve Carell has perfected the faux Russian accent that Gru is known for. He was born for this role and he's proven that perfectly well. But too much of a good thing is never good, and I'll get to that later. Trey Parker is delightfully over the top as Balthazar Brad. His mannerisms and his way of speaking are endearing enough that you can accept every single scene he's in. While he'll be remembered more for his outlandish antics, that's not discounting his credibility as a villain. He is both a delight to watch and a genuine threat to the heroes in the same vein as other fun-loving trollish villains. and the choice of Trey Parker as the voice actor is nothing short of perfect. On the flip side though, some of the other actors are wasted, namely Jenny Slate and Julie Andrews. I don't even know why they're in the movie if they're only going to be in the movie for roughly a single minute, and that's being generous. It's not like it's a tiny little cameo that you'll miss if you blink. Whatever it is, it annoys me. I guess the animation was also solid. Everything looks crisp and moves fluidly, and none of the characters look horrendously off-model, nor do the textures or backgrounds seem visually offensive. It's not a standout to be put on a pedestal, but nice looking enough that I'm not gonna rag on it. And that's about everything that I enjoyed about this movie. Now on to the flaws, and boy oh boy, grab a lawn chair and some popcorn because there's quite a few of them. The first problem I have seems to be widespread amongst almost all of Illumination's films. That would be the haphazard insertion of plot points and plot lines with a disregard for logic. And more often than not, they serve next to no purpose except as a means to artificially extend the runtime. Or if they do have a purpose and they serve it, they're never brought up again for the remainder of the film. In this movie, there are two subplots, one for Margot and one for Agnes, that never really come together and just exist for the sake of existing. And the sad part is that the subplot with the minions ends up having a tighter connection with the overall plot, which should get you thinking, how do you have less significance and intelligence than the minions? The goddamn minions! By far the biggest example of runtime fodder. Speaking of the minions, if they haven't worn out their welcome already, then they sure as shit have now. I used to like them, but after 3 movies and a pointless spin-off featuring more of the same unchanging brand of characterization, I couldn't give a rat's ass about them. You could say that they're not as bad here as they were in the past, but still. And as an aside, Konami, are you really so fucking infuriating that you have to include minions in Dance Dance Revolution? I know that's part of your contractual agreement with Universal, but really? Really? Just as bad are the launch pads for these plots, which most of the time are moments of inexcusable idiocy. You just want to slap the taste out of these characters' mouths after seeing them do what they do. Inexperienced with motherhood as she may be, how the hell did Lucy not realize that not leaving your child unattended is common freaking sense? And when the film isn't wasting its time and the audience's time with those subplots, there's still the main plotline to worry about, which is as focused as a camera taking 30 seconds to focus before the photographer can take his shot. 1 minute I'm indulging in Balthazar Brat's shenanigans, which should have been the absolute main plotline, and in another I'm groaning inwardly at how much of a clumsy dumbass Drew is, who sadly shares center stage with Balthazar Brat. Did I say that yet? Drew's annoying as shit. He's pretty much Gru, except minus the endearment and plus the urge to strangle his thick-ass neck. I can't tell you how many times I cringed, how many times I facepalmed at his uncompelling idiocy. It doesn't help that his build-up and his actual character are so jarringly removed from each other. He's so insistent on becoming a supervillain and continuing on his family's legacy, and to have his brother show him the ropes. It would have been fine if his incompetence were endearing, or he showed promise as a villain, yet was held back by some kind of insecurity. But no, we don't get that here. This isn't Dan Hibiki or Hercule, who are trying to measure up to their respective universe's standards, yet still possess a degree of competence that you're enamored by them, and you root for their success. This is the jackass who's so in over his head, jumping headfirst into danger despite being ill-equipped, and being totally aware of it. And it's topped off by Steve Carell's incredibly grating delivery. I never really thought that an actor doing voiceover work can give us the best of one world and the worst of another. I'll be damned if someone like Tara Strong ever does that. Good God, no. Ugh. Taking everything into consideration, between the stellar performances of the voice cast, the decent animation, the irrelevant subplots and elements, the idiotic actions leading into said subplots, the useless sack of turd that is Drew, and the general lack of focus that plagues Illumination worse than biblical Egypt's own plagues, I give Despicable Me 3 a 2 out of 5. Say what you will about the Boss Baby, goodness knows I have, but it's fundamentally more sound than Despicable Me 3 was. It actually knew what it wanted to do. It didn't try to distract you with menial nonsense. For that, I'm going to bump up my original score from 2 out of 5 to 2.5 out of 5. Not the best improvement you can get, but still an improvement. Before I close off the video, I just want to say that yes, I am aware that a film like this is strictly for a younger demographic, aside from a minor detail or two here and there. Irrespective of that, I'm still evaluating this animated movie as I would evaluate anything. Age is not a factor in my evaluation. A cliched and overused statement, I know, but it's cliched and overused for a good reason, because it's true. You can pander to your audience all you want, but you still gotta try. Financial and critical success do not have to be far removed from each other, you know? It's all a matter of effort. That's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.